Welcome here. Today, I will share with you an illustration that begins like this. There was in a mountainous region far from any city a magnificent eagle who ruled the skies. Bronze wings, sunlit, vast, powerful, soaring. Her eyes were sharp enough to see a rabbit moving from a mile away. She soared higher than the clouds, touching heights that other creatures could only dream of. This eagle was truly magnificent, but she was also filled with pride. Every morning she would rise from her nest atop the highest cliff and spread her wings wide. She would look down at the valley below where other animals lived their simple lives. She saw the deer grazing in the meadows. She saw the foxes hunting in the brush. She saw the rabbits hiding in their burrows. And she despised them all for their inability to fly. But there was one creature she despised more than any other: the serpent. Down in the rocky valley, serpents would slide between the stones, their bodies hugging the earth, moving without legs, without wings, without any dignity in her eyes. They could not sing like the birds. They could not soar like the eagles. They were condemned to crawl in the dust, tasting dirt with every movement. The eagle saw this as the ultimate disgrace. One afternoon, as the eagle glided on the warm currents of air, she spotted a serpent coiled on a sun-warmed rock. The serpent was resting peacefully, enjoying the warmth after a long morning of hunting. The eagle could not resist. She folded her wings and dove down from the sky like a bolt of lightning. She landed on a boulder just above the serpent, her talons gripping the stone with fierce strength. "Look at you," the eagle said with contempt dripping from every word. "You miserable creature. Look how you are forced to crawl on your belly. You have no wings to lift you. You have no voice to sing praises. You are bound to the earth like a prisoner bound to chains. I soar through the heavens and see the world spread before me like a magnificent tapestry. I touch the clouds. I ride the winds. I am free in ways you will never understand. What a pathetic existence you have, serpent. How it must pain you to be so low, so limited, so worthless." The serpent, who had been resting peacefully, slowly lifted her head. Her eyes, ancient and wise, looked up at the proud eagle without fear and without anger. She did not strike. She did not hiss. She simply spoke in a calm, measured voice. "Great eagle, you fly higher than I will ever go. This is true. You see things I will never see. This is also true. But let me tell you something you have not yet learned. Not everything that shines in the sky is gold. Not everything that crawls on the earth is without value. One day you will understand that height does not equal worth, and that every creature has been given exactly what they need for their purpose." The eagle scoffed at these words. She spread her magnificent wings, beating the air so powerfully that dust swirled around the serpent. "Foolish reptile," she cried. "You speak nonsense because you are jealous of what you can never have. Enjoy your rocks and your shadows. I will enjoy the glory of the heavens." With that, the eagle launched herself back into the sky, climbing higher and higher until she was just a speck against the blue expanse. Months passed. The eagle continued her reign over the skies, proud and untouchable. She hunted with precision, striking down her prey with deadly accuracy. She nested in the highest cliffs where no predator could reach her. She lived in the realm of the sun and the stars, far above the concerns of earthbound creatures. But pride, as it always does, led to carelessness. One late afternoon, as the sun began its descent toward the horizon, the eagle spotted a plump hare darting between rocks far below. Her stomach was empty. Her instincts took over. She folded her wings tight against her body and dove with incredible speed. The wind screamed past her. The ground rushed up to meet her. At the last possible moment, she extended her talons to seize her prey. But something went terribly wrong. Her right talon caught in a narrow crevice between two large stones. The momentum of her dive drove her foot deep into the crack. She felt immediate, searing pain as the rocks gripped her leg like a trap. She beat her wings frantically, trying to pull herself free. But the more she struggled, the more her talon wedged deeper into the stone. She cried out, her voice echoing across the valley. But no other eagles lived in this region. She was alone. Hours passed. The sun sank lower, painting the sky in shades of orange and red. The eagle's wings grew tired from flapping. Her leg throbbed with pain. Thirst began to torment her. The very heights she had loved now mocked her, for her nest with its water and safety was impossibly far away. She who had soared now could not even stand. She who had been free now was imprisoned. As darkness began to fall, the eagle heard a sound that made her heart sink even further. The soft, sliding sound of scales against stone. A serpent was approaching. The eagle's first thought was fear. She was vulnerable, trapped, unable to defend herself. If the serpent chose to strike, she could do nothing to stop it. But as the serpent came into view, the eagle recognized her. It was the same serpent she had mocked months ago. The same creature she had called worthless and pathetic. Shame flooded through the eagle, mixing with her fear and pain. The serpent stopped a short distance away, studying the situation with those ancient, knowing eyes. She said nothing at first, simply observing. Finally, the eagle spoke, her voice broken and humble. "Please," she whispered, "please help me. I know what I said to you. I know how I treated you. I was wrong. I was arrogant and cruel. But I am begging you now. Please do not leave me here to die. I cannot free myself." The serpent remained silent for a long moment. Then slowly, deliberately, she began to move toward the trapped eagle. She slid between the rocks with an ease that no creature with legs could match. Her body, flexible and strong, allowed her to navigate spaces that would be impossible for any other animal. She reached the crevice where the eagle's talon was stuck. The eagle held her breath, unsure what would happen next. The serpent examined the situation carefully. Then she began to work. Using her powerful body, she pushed against a smaller stone that was wedging the eagle's foot in place. It took time. It took patience. The serpent had to position herself just right, pressing with all her strength against the stone. Slowly, gradually, the stone shifted, then shifted again. Finally, it moved enough that the pressure on the eagle's talon released. "Pull now," the serpent said quietly. "Pull gently, but firmly." The eagle did as she was told, with a surge of relief so powerful it brought tears to her eyes. Her talon slid free from the crack. She stumbled backward, nearly falling, her injured leg unable to bear weight. But she was free. She looked at the serpent, this creature she had despised, this being she had called worthless, and she saw her clearly for the first time. "You saved my life," the eagle said, her voice trembling. "After everything I said to you, after how I treated you, you came to help me. Why?" The serpent coiled her body into a resting position on the warm stone. She looked up at the magnificent eagle, no longer proud but humbled and broken before her. "Great eagle," the serpent said, "you were born for the skies, and that is a beautiful thing. I was born for the earth, and that too is beautiful. You can do things I will never do. You can see things I will never see. But I can do things you cannot. I can move where you cannot move. I can fit where you cannot fit. I can reach what you cannot reach. Your mistake was not in flying high. Your mistake was in believing that flying high made you better than me. We are both creatures made by the same creator. We both have our purpose. We both have our value. The question is not who flies higher or who moves faster. The question is whether we recognize the divine purpose in each other and honor it." The eagle bowed her head. Tears fell from her eyes onto the dusty stone. "I understand now," she said. "I have been a fool. I saw only what I could do and despised what I could not. I looked at you and saw only limitation. But you looked at me with wisdom I did not possess. Forgive me." The serpent nodded slowly. "You are forgiven, eagle. Now go, rest, heal. And when you fly again, remember that the view from the heights is not the only view worth seeing. Sometimes, the most important things can only be seen from the ground." The eagle limped away to find shelter for the night. Her wing was strong, but her spirit was forever changed. She would fly again, but never again would she fly with pride that despised others. She had learned her lesson in the hardest way possible. Do you hear what I am saying to you today? How often do you look at others and measure them by your own gifts? How often do you see someone who cannot do what you can do and believe that makes them less valuable? How often do you take pride in your abilities while despising those who have different abilities? God has given each person unique gifts. Some are called to lead, others to serve. Some are called to speak, others to listen. Some are called to create, others to preserve. Some work with their minds, others with their hands. Some shine in public, others labor in private. And every single one has infinite value in the eyes of God. The eagle thought her wings made her superior, but when crisis came, her wings could not save her. It was the serpent's ability to move along the ground, the very thing the eagle had mocked, that became her salvation. Never despise the gifts others have been given. Never look down on those whose calling seems smaller or less impressive than yours. Never believe that your abilities make you more valuable than another human being. In the body of Christ, we need every part. The eye cannot say to the hand, "I do not need you." The head cannot say to the feet, "I have no need of you." On the contrary, the parts that seem weaker are indispensable. God arranged the body and gave greater honor to the parts that lacked it, so that there should be no division, but that all parts should have equal concern for each other. Do you understand this truth? The person who serves in silence has as much value as the person who speaks from the platform. The person who cleans has as much dignity as the person who teaches. The person who encourages has as much importance as the person who leads. Every role, every gift, every calling has divine purpose. Stop comparing yourself to others. Stop measuring your worth by whether you fly higher or move faster. Stop despising those whose gifts are different from yours. Instead, recognize that God has placed each person exactly where they need to be, with exactly the gifts they need to fulfill their unique purpose. And remember this, the day may come when you find yourself trapped, unable to use the gifts you have always relied upon. In that moment, you will discover that the person you once looked down upon is the very person God sends to set you free. Their gift, which seems so small to you, becomes your salvation. Walk in humility, honor every person, recognize the divine image in each soul you encounter. For whoever exalts himself will be humbled, and whoever humbles himself will be exalted. Let the one who boasts, boast in the Lord. The eagle learned this lesson on the rocks of the valley. Learn it now, before life teaches it to you the hard way. Recognize the serpent's value before you need the serpent's help. Honor all gifts before you discover how desperately you need them. Love all people before you find yourself dependent on their mercy.